reaction to Jay the Great. He did a HEBI Sasuke versus Sage of Naruto, basically saying it's not close. And as you guys already know, there's been kind of a weird agenda lately due to Buffoon, aka Loco the Loser, which is why it's been kind of a whole thing to begin with. But it's, it's a shock value attempt. It's desperation, and whatnot. It's like a temporary moment of success. That's all it really is. And then it just eventually fades away, just like the Cox versus Pain bullshit. But anyways, many people have made some videos about it because they were getting tired of the bullshit and whatnot. And it's only a small percentage of people that even believe in the notion anyways. Like 95% of the Naruto community knows it's a bunch of bullshit and clearly knows who would win. But, as always, obviously it is an opportunity for content creators to kind of get on the ball with. And many content creators have been making response videos. Not really response videos, but mainly making videos towards the topic itself. And Jay is included in that. As before we saw Billy, him against it and whatnot. And we saw that Daigo Knight was on the side as well. So I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason why this is kind of went off in a bit of a direction is mainly due to Daigo Knight. But originally Loco did start the agenda before, and then Daigo Knight kind of took it, and he's one of the big boys. So if that motherfucker says it, you know things are going to be starting to pop off. You know what I mean? So you should react to my Noodles video. I'm curious to what your opinion on my counterpoints are. Not this stream though; it's an hour long. Yeah, of course, man. Obviously, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. What, you have a Noodles video? What the fuck? What happened? Like, what the fuck? But we're gonna keep things rolling. We're gonna move it forward and let's do this shit. Let's check out Jay's video. We're gonna check out 2 other videos of Jay as well. But we're gonna check out some TG, Jay the Great, and then some Naruto vids in the watch later, and then we'll do some Grounded as well with Mr. Ken Rock. So. Oh shit. Hey, that was a clean.
Yo, what is up,
that was a
everybody?
clean edit.
I'm
not gonna lie, that shit was pretty clean, bro. It was like it's hilarious because if you actually understand like the context of that is like Gatachi say, "Hey, you're in my genjutsu, bitch." Like this ain't actually happening, and then it shows like Sage of Arts. Like if you understand like the meanings behind meanings with that was pretty lit. Not gonna lie, bro.
Another Naruto related video, and with this video here today, kind of wanted to get into this topic because you can tell by the title of what that is, because it's been a trending topic in the community and it's been highly debated as well in the community, despite it being a quite simple matchup to conclude on. So with today's video, I really want to kind of illuminate how this topic and this matchup specifically really isn't a debatable one, and the winner of this matchup is quite easy to conclude on, right? So similar to the video made recently by Billy, shout out to him, I decided to do this video unscripted. That means no script was written. I'm doing this the same day that I decided to do the video to kind of further illuminate that, again, this topic is not hard to analyze nor conclude on, and you don't need some god tier script to do that. So again, that's why I'm deciding to do this video unscripted, just like Billy did.
Hit it rock, bro. Hit it rock.
HEBI Sasuke, right, is an individual in the community and an opponent and shinobi in the community that has been heavily debated himself, aside from this matchup, right, against Sage of Naruto, specifically the scaling of HEBI Sasuke. So I'm going to begin by scaling him, and I think the first and probably the most important aspect of his scaling is his speed, right? So there's been this bizarre scaling that has been circulating and infiltrating into the community, with that being that HEBI Sasuke has KCM 1 levels of speed or beyond, right? So let's first kind of break down why that claim came to be. So essentially, HEBI Sasuke, after post absorption and after the defeat of Orochimaru, is able to stop Soigetsu and Jugo from attacking each other when him and Taka go to recruit Jugo, right? And with this feat, individuals correlate that to Soigetsu and Jugo, specifically Soigetsu, against the Raikage during the 5 Kage Summit, and people claim that because Soigetsu was able to block the attack of the Reikage that he is beyond the speed of the Reikage. Now, an important note I must make, and this is just in general for scaling, is that a misconception that individuals...
Yes, sir, Mr. Kenra. Hey, you already know, bro. Hebi Sasuke, he built like EMS all day, every day, baby.
have when it comes to scaling is that when they hear an individual's name, they automatically conclude that that individual is at their best and using their full capabilities in whatever said scenario or situation they are in, right? So for example, with this one, because they hear the Reikage's name, they conclude he's using light speed in this instance, trying to hit Sasuke, and because Sogetsu was able to intercept that attack and react to it and defend it, he is above that and hence above the Reikage. But that's actually incorrect and not the best way of using logic in general, not just in this scenario, but in scaling in general, because you got to analyze the contextual parameters of any such situation that you're analyzing. So when we actually analyze this situation, firstly, not every attack has equivalent speed in a shinobi's arsenal, right? We know that the Reikage at his maximum, right, with his maximum capabilities in mind, is capable of at least relativistic speeds to light, right? It's stated in the data book. And when he's using his full speed, that's when he's at that level of speed, right? Specifically when he attempted to blitz Minato and also when he attempted to blitz Naruto during the beginning of the war. That's when his speed was at that level. In this situation, that is not the case, right? When analyzing the contextual parameters of this situation, when he's attempting to hit Sasuke, he's not in V2 first, he's in V1, and he's using an attack that he has to bring up and bring back down, right? He's like bringing his arm up, and gravity's aiding him, and he's coming down in a lateral motion, right? He's not using his full combat speed in this instance, right? So Sugetsu getting in front of it does not substantiate the claim that he is light speed. That's not the Reikage, even in his max speed form, which is colloquially called V2, and he's not using his most maximum speed attack, which is the lariat and the sort of dash that he does when he's, such as against Minato again. So to use that as a reference to substantiate Sogetsu as light speed and hence Hebi Sasuke is above the Reikage is incorrect and miscontextualization of what actually took place and of the actual scaling of Hebi Sasuke and Sogetsu as a result, right? So what is the actual speed of Hebi Sasuke? Well, we get a reference point, right, or sort of a metric when he combats Deidara, right? That's the most drawn out battle that we are given narratively and canonically in the narrative, right? And in this battle, what we do know is that Deidara admits inferiority as far as speed. He says he's too quick, which is why he had to use strategy, right? He had to use landmines, and he had to use an aerial advantage, right? Because he needed a territorial advantage in the situation due to the inferiority in speed. Because in close quarters combat, we can say Hebi Sasuke is faster than Deidara. But when analyzing that battle, you can conclude relativity, right? Because it came...
And Jay's absolutely correct in that. So obviously Jay's not saying like, oh, Deidara just gets blitzed, whatever. But no, obviously we've seen the fight. Like Deidara is able to react to him, you know, several times. Deidara is relative, but Sasuke is fast. You know what I mean? And Deidara just flat out says like, it's a good thing I was using C1 explosions, otherwise that would have been really problematic in order to keep him at bay. So like he at least has combat and reaction speed relative to Hebi Sasuke, but Hebi Sasuke was clearly over. You know what I mean? And that's why you had to like go on the bird, you know, attack from a distance, things like that, whatever. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Deidara really isn't a speedster anyways. You know what I mean? He's just within that ballpark to make sure he's not getting blitzed by people, but he mainly is a long distance fighter. He always fights with his clay and on his bird and just keeps away from people. He's not a combat oriented person, you know, so there's that too.
Came down to the wire, right? And another aspect that you can analyze is the very fact that Sasuke was unable to outrun the explosion that Deidara used with C0, right? And we can conclude that explosions are not remotely close to light speed, right? The sort of radius that explosion encompasses as it goes outward and the energy propagates is certainly not light speed. And in fact, we could actually further substantiate this claim by actually doing an approximate calculation of the detonation velocity of C0, because during the time of the explosion, as it propagated outward and encompassed its area of effect, again, i.e. being around 10 kilometers in radius, individuals were actually having conversations amongst themselves, such as Sakura and Kakashi. Now, the reason this matters is the average words per minute for an individual engaged in conversation, in casual conversation, is about 150 words per minute, right? And in the manga, we see individuals iterate several words, meaning this explosion took several seconds. Now, the speed of light is 300,000 kilometers per second, singular. Now, if this explosion were even relativistic to the speed of light, this explosion would encompass its area of effect in a fraction of a second, and that's an understatement. In fact, if it were the speed of light exactly, it would take a 30,000th of a second for that explosion to encompass the 10-kilometer radius that it encompassed.
God damn. Hey, you know, just say, bro, he's kind of spitting here, you know what I mean? But hey, you know, it is what it is. 1 second.
So the point is that if Sasuke really were KCM1 level, even if we do give him the benefit of the doubt and say, well, he was fatigued and he wasn't using CM2, and we give him a 10 to possibly 20 times decrease in speed, he still wouldn't be remotely close to the speed of light or even to levels relativistic to the speed of light. So this sort of quantitative calculation further just illuminates highly and brightly the fact that Sasuke is not remotely close to the speed of light at this point in time in the narrative, right? Again, this explosion is not remotely close to the speed of light.
And Jay's spitting there, if I'm being honest with you guys, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean, like with the explosion, everything he just showed with, you know, the calculation and whatnot, and you name it, it's nowhere near the speed of light, bro. Like, it's nowhere near. Like, I'm sorry, but there you go, you know, and it is what it is, you know, and at the end of the day, when Sasuke was dealing with that explosion, he technically gets hit with it to a certain regard, and the snake summoning as well was like stated verbatim. So like, no matter what, like, I'm sorry, but he just ain't built like on that level. If that man was at the speed of light with the speed of teleportation, bro, he would have been gone. He wouldn't need Manda, bro, you know. So just saying, you know,
Sasuke barely, with perception speed, was able to reverse summon himself out of there and was unable to use his travel speed to escape the explosion that, again, is not remotely close to the speed of light, as it took several seconds, long enough for individuals to have conversation for it to encompass its radius of effect. And again, if this were an explosion even relativistic to the speed of light, the explosion would have been done in a fraction of a second. A fraction, not even 1 second. It would have been hundreds, possibly thousandths of a second, even if we say it's not exactly the speed of light, but simply relativistic to it. Now, if it's the speed of light, it would be a 30,000th of a second when dividing the kilometers per second compared to the 10-kilometer radius that it encompassed, and we look at the difference of time that light would take to travel these respective distances. So this qualitative, educatively guessed calculation is quite possibly the best one to conclude, because it shows blatantly that Sasuke is not remotely close to the speed of light at this point in time, right? All of this, plus the other empirical pieces of evidence I extrapolated and elaborated on, such as Reikage against Sogetsu, etc., all feeds my claim without being that HEBI Sasuke is not the speed of light, right? So I really wanted to make that point hit home, because I think it is very important, as this claim specifically, I see, is the claim that is the most trending and widely supported in the group of HEBI Sasuke supporters, I guess you could say, or sort of highballers is the better word I'm looking for. So again, I really wanted to make that point hit home, and so that's why I had to really get thorough with this one. Now, the next aspect is his caliber, right? A lot of individuals are under the notion that he is beyond Sannin level, right? And that is not the case, and here's why. I'm going to substantiate why that's the case. Firstly, Sasuke admits inferiority post-Datara when Karin states, how could you be the one to take down Orochimaru, right? And some people say, and refute this point, by saying, oh, when Sasuke says I only took him down because he was sick, he's referencing that older iteration before he absorbed Orochimaru. But that's not the case, because he is responding directly to the statement that Karin makes, in which she is referencing his current version, right? She's saying, how could you, right, the current Sasuke I'm looking at, be capable of taking down Orochimaru? And then Sasuke in return says, I only took him down because he was sick, right? He didn't say, oh, I'm stronger now. He didn't say anything of that matter. So while it is theoretically possible that he could be talking about his older iteration when he was not what he is now and didn't have Orochimaru absorbed, it's more likely via the dialogue given that he is not, in fact, Sannin level. And in fact, to further substantiate that, Deidara had a quite competitive altercation with Gaara, right? Deidara versus Gaara at the beginning of Shippuden. Now, Deidara is the superior, but there's enough when analyzing the context to establish relativity, and here's why, right? Deidara had the advantage of being able to use the village as a hostage figure against Gaara when combating him, right? So for example, when he dropped the C3 bomb, or attempted to, Gaara had to quickly maneuver and use chakra and use effort to catch it and stop the explosion, sacrificing chakra, sacrificing effort, energy, etc. Now, you can refute me and say, well, Deidara was holding back, Deidara had to capture him, Deidara won in the end, but the point is there's relativity as both had handicap placed upon them, which is enough to establish relativity between the two. In Gaara, not even in the war arc is Sannin level, as the most impressive and capable during the war arc were Tsunade and the Raikage and Onuki. In fact, Gaara had a ferocious battle, stated by the databooks, with his father Rasa, who was killed by a Sannin, right? So in fact, that further substantiates that Deidara, nor Gaara, nor HEBI Sasuke are Sannin level, and hence Sasuke is certainly not above Sannin level, which further substantiates the speed stuff as well, right? He's certainly not KCM 1 speed, right? Because he would certainly be above Sannin.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Jay's absolutely spitting there. At the end of the day, like, Orochimaru killed Gaara's father. He literally killed him. And it was, to be fair, it was an aid with Kimmaru being there as well. But still, like, it's, you know, at the end of the day, he's just not built like that. You know what I mean? And then we see Gaara even in the war arc where he's, like, around this level, so on and so forth, you name it. This is kind of what you're working with, you know, and that's basically it. But, yeah, it's just, they're not on that level of power. You know what I mean? They're approaching, they're getting there, but they're not there, so.
Sannin level at that point. Now, aside from these aspects, I'll get into the other ones quickly. They're not as
And I must mention one more thing too. Even if they were as well Sannin level, Sannin are also not KCM and above. That's the problem as well. So
important in this matchup anyway. You'll see why as we go on. But as far as AP, Sasuke's AP is formidable. The best AP is capable of is with Kirin, is capable of destroying what appears to be a large hill. That's not to be sort of disregarded. That's impressive. Durability is enhanced by Orochimaru. It's hard to quantify the exact durability. There's clearly not anything to disregard. He was able to continue to battle after getting a wing blown off by Deidara. So his durability is not bad, but I'll get into Naruto's as well. And that's really about it for HEBI Sasuke. I really wanted to mostly debunk the strange misconceptions, inaccurate representations, and miscontextualizations of HEBI Sasuke scaling. So now let's get to Sage Mode Naruto scaling, which I believe is a little bit misunderstood to a degree as well. Naruto's speed is quite immense. Now, against Pain, he's able to blitz the Asura path when it attempts to take out Tsunade, right? It rushes her and attempts to blitz her, and he's able to blitz it and destroy it, right? His speed is quite immense. It is a problem for Tendo Pain. And Tendo Pain has to, once he deduces the workings of Sage Mode, sort of plan around how to defeat Naruto, because in Sage Mode, he's extremely capable, right? His speed is quite immense. And to further substantiate that his speed is immense, he has a better performance than Jiraiya does against 3 Paths of Pain in the Rain Village. And I know people always say, well, in the Rain Village, Pain was stronger, right? And yes, that's where the signal is the strongest, right? With Nagato being the signal for the chakra that is being infused into the Paths of Pain. However, when looking at the context, Pain wasn't really trying against Jiraiya, and once he did, he immediately disposed of Jiraiya, even in Sage Mode, right? So it's not like he was going all out. Against Naruto, he had all 6 Paths of Pain present, and Naruto is still able to react, combat, etc. against these passive pain. So that's something to keep of note. Yeah, they were fatigued, and yes, there was prolonged battle prior, but to suggest that Pain was incredibly weak at that point in time, I believe is hard to prove. You'd have to substantiate why that is. Yes, he is farther from the chakra signal that is Nagato. However, he was still very capable, and in fact fought Six Tails Naruto afterwards as well, so he's obviously very capable of battle, with Six Tails Naruto being way above Sannin level, as Four Tail Naruto was able to nearly kill Jiraiya and Orochimaru, right? So Pain, even heavily fatigued, later on near the end of the Pain arc, was still able to contend with Six Tails Naruto, right? And that was an even more fatigued Pain that was dwindling in chakra and dwindling in ability.
Yeah, so point being said, with everything that Jay's been saying the whole time, he's absolutely spitting facts, is at the end of the day, Pain is not even at full fucking power yet. He's fatigued, whatever, so he is weak to certain degrees, whatever, and he's not at full power, you name it, but he's still able to contend against Sage Mode Naruto, and this was also without, like, Tendo. This is with him spamming the Rinnegan's ability, which we know, like, fucking goes through a ridiculous amount of fucking chakra. Even having two Rinnegan using them goes through an insane amount of chakra. It's kind of similar to Kakashi using the Sharingan when he's not the actual user of the eye. You know, so you have all that as well. Obito almost lost himself with just one Rinnegan alone. So, like, the insane amount of chakra that Nagato's even going through is pretty crazy. But again, Nagato has incredible chakra and stamina reserves, and so on and so forth. So it's like, yeah, Pain is not at full power, which Pain's full power would even be further beyond, you know, so we can only imagine how cracked that man is. And sure, like, with him being the distance of Nagato and whatnot, that can probably have a play and factor to Nagato's power and chakra output as well. But it's very vague. There's a lot of things we don't really know. That's the issue. You know what I mean? So, like, there is some type of implication that, like, Tendo Pain had to get, like, within a certain distance to eventually be able to use Trubaku Tensei. So, like, with how fatigued he was and the distance, like, he had to get within a certain distance to use that. So there is an implication that depending on his level of fatigue or his level and chakra, whatever you name it, and in conjunction with the distance, he does need to, you know, be within those parameters to hit certain, you know, conditions to use his really strong, you know, jutsus and stuff. But basically where I'm getting at is if Pain wasn't fatigued and he was at full power, he could probably easily be able to do Trubaku Tensei right there and then just spam them and shit, right? Easily, right? You know what I mean? So it's in conjunction with him being fatigued, the distance as well. But basically where I'm getting at, if Pain is literally full power, like next to a Nagato, and on top of it, not fatigued as well, oh my god, the sky's the fucking limit with this guy, right? Like, he would be able to do insane fucking things, and blatantly would be KCM level and so on and so forth, or even above, you know what I mean? What we technically even see with Edo Nagato and things like that. So Pain's no fucking joke, but bottom line is, we do know Four Tails Naruto is above the Sannin, and Sage Mode Naruto is also above the Sannin, which Pain is way above those motherfuckers while heavily fatigued and at a distance. Like, that's just insane, you know? So
ability, etc. Right, so that further substantiates that Tendo Pain was incredibly capable, right? This Tendo Pain was a Tendo Pain earlier in the Pain arc, right? Prior to the Six-Tail Naruto altercation, right? More capable, more chakra, you know, etc. So he was even further beyond Sannin, and he struggled again with Naruto's speed, right? With Naruto's ability to react. Naruto was able to blitz the osteopath, etc. Right, so all these contextual parameters need to be analyzed when assessing the speed, as definitivity is impossible, right? Because there's just ambiguity that can never be concretely, definitively concluded on. But we can establish this probability, right? We can establish probability. We can establish likelihood of claims, and based off the contextual parameters of the Pain arc, Pain was far beyond Sannin, far beyond. For him to be even considerably beyond Sannin near the end of the Pain arc, fighting Six Tails Naruto, and then even containing Eight Tails Naruto with the Trubaku Tensei, just substantiates that even far away from the chakra signal and not in the rain.
And he also was still able to fight Sage Mode Naruto while, like, at an extreme level of fatigue after all of those events. Like, Nagato slammed the entire village, fights a bunch of low Kage level people, fights, you know, then fights a high Kage opponent, Sage Mode Naruto, blows up the whole village, you name it, all the toads, all that stuff, Six Tails Naruto, goes further out, then has to deal with full transformation Naruto, still deals with him or whatever, and then has to deal with Sage Mode Naruto. While Naruto's fully back up in power, stamina, you name it, chakra, he could still combat and fight against him. Pain is a fucking monster, bro. Absolute monster.
Village, Pain is far beyond Sannin level, right? Far beyond it. So that's something I had to bring up to really hit the claim home that Naruto's speed is immense. Not to get into his caliber, I kind of already foreshadowed what it is. He is beyond Sannin. I kind of established empirical evidence for that, right, with his performance against the passive Pain, kind of running through them and even giving Tendo Pain a hard time, in Sage more specifically. And even the statements from the Sage mentor himself, Fukasaku, right, the mentor of even Jiraiya and Minato back in the day. So clearly there's statements and empirical evidence to suggest that he surpassed Sannin level. At that point in time, that was the checkpoint in Naruto's career in which he surpassed Sannin level. So in fact, his speed is beyond that of Sannin, and his caliber overall as a shinobi.
Another thing as well is the Six Tails. When Six Tails comes out, Tendo Pain says he's fast. He doesn't say that about Sage Naruto, he says it about Six Tails Naruto. So even Six Tails Naruto is actually like pretty fucking cracked, whatever you name it. So there's that as well to put into consideration.
Is beyond that of Sannin as well. Now, to get into the other aspects like I did with Sasuke and just quickly touch upon them, as far as AP and durability, as they correlate, simply put, his AP and durability is immense. He's able to throw in the air multi-ton rhinos. He's able to break the chakra rod of Pain in half and not even have it penetrate his skin, right? Which is insane, which just further illuminates the durability and the AP that he's capable of. So that would be extremely advantageous in this matchup. Now, again, I just kind of want to quickly touch up upon that. So to kind of get to the matchup now, after debunking certain misconceptions and enhancing the sort of clarity on the scaling of these guys, who would win? Well, simply put, there's just a gap in caliber, right? As I've established, Sasuke is below Sannin. He's below Sannin. He's able to barely beat Deidara, who had hard time with Gaara, who even in the war arc, stronger isn't even the Sannin level. He's struggling with his father, who again couldn't even take out, defend himself against Orochimaru. He's just outclassed by Naruto. He's outclassed by him. Again, the weird speed scaling was debunked as well. He's not KCM1 level. That's just not the case. I substantiated why that is via proof by contradiction. Naruto would outspeed him. Naruto would blitz him. And if he gets a shot on him, he will morbidly wound him. If he's able to throw multi-ton rhinos in the air, if he's able to parry extremely potent chakra rods, if he's able to go toe-to-toe with Tendo Pain, who's far beyond Sannin himself in close quarters combat, while conversely, Sasuke struggles with Deidara, then simply put, he would get overwhelmed by Sage Mode Naruto. In physical combat...
Yeah, another thing to put in consideration as well, guys, anime as well, Orochimaru fights Deidara and Sasori at the same time, and it's not like a struggle at all. Like, he's literally just playing with both of them at the same time and just having fun. You know what I mean? Like, so there's that as well, and Deidara wasn't able to do shit. Really, the only person that was really fighting against Orochimaru that whole time was Sasori, to be fair. But Orochimaru was still just having a great time, smiling. He then like treats the fight as like child's play, to where he like takes out his Edo Tensei. He's like, all right, let's have my Edo Tensei against your fucking Kazekage puppet, and he used the Kazekage Edo Tensei against his puppet, and they were like going at it, whatever, blah blah. And then basically he's like, all right, I had enough, I'm gonna dip, and then he runs, leaves, and that's it, right? So it's like there's even that in the anime, which kind of emphasizes, like, Deidara is clearly on a level. Like, Deidara was more of a support character, while Sasori was the one that was clearly Sannin level and could at least fight it and contend against him or whatever you name it. So, like, there's that to put into consideration, too. And in the game as well, like, we have the game, too, where Orochimaru goes to try to fuck with Pain, and he completely shits on Orochimaru. He pulls an Itachi on him and just no diffs him, while Orochimaru fights against Sasori, and they're going at it, whatever, and then Orochimaru just flat out said, hey, bitch, I was just having fun with you. You're not, you're nothing to me. But those eyes at Riddigon, I need that. Goes and charges, he immediately gets dealt with. So you have all that into information, into context as well. In the manga, if you don't even count the game and the anime, even though the anime and the game is canon as well, but let's say you take the manga into consideration, there's tons of statements or whatever where we literally there was even foreshadowing events and so on, and statements verbatim to where Orochimaru and Kabuto were actually supposed to pull up on Sasori and Deidara and fight them to the death and just get rid of them. You know, that was supposed to happen, but that was interrupted due to Sasori, you know, and whatnot, and Deidara being compromised by the Konoha squads and things like that. So you have all that as well. You know what I mean? They were literally actually supposed to fight each other on the bridge. So at the end of the day, basically what I'm getting at is, you know, even with the manga, the implications were there that they were going to fight or whatever, so on and so forth. And Orochimaru and Kabuto thought very highly to be able to defeat them both and kill them. So you have that as well. Now, I do know that there's like tons of arguments for Sasori being above Sannin, whatever, blah, blah. People either think he's equal to the Sannin or above or lower than the Sannin. That's kind of the three things you have. But regardless, I'm not really talking about Sasori here. We're talking about Deidara. Deidara just wasn't even there. Sasori is even stronger than Deidara. Deidara even admits inferiority to Sasori as well. So that's basically where I'm getting at. Deidara and Sasuke, they're just not there yet. HEBI, Sasuke, and Deidara, they're not on the Sannin tier level of power. You know, that's the problem. So
he will be overwhelmed, right? In combat speed, in all the aspects, the different speeds, he's outclassed. Perception speed, combat speed, physical speed, whatever colloquial term you want to use, he's outclassed, right? So even if you use the Genjutsu argument, it's unlikely, as his perception is inferior to Naruto's, right? Naruto has better speed scaling than HEBI Sasuke does, and again, I proved that. So simply put, Seibo Naruto would quite handedly defeat him. He is upper tier Akatsuki level, while conversely, HEBI Sasuke is more so in the middle of the pack as far as Akatsuki level. Yeah, I know the statement, the databook statement, his power surpasses.
Getting at is, you know, at the end of the day, you have the Warwick feats as well, with Seijo Naruto being at least within the KCM ballpark, or even potentially greater. You know, you just have blatant objective feats, you know, in comparison with KCM Naruto, and then Seijo Naruto against the third Raikage. There's that as well, which obviously Pain would be within, because he's over here nerfed and fatigued, and he's still doing that great against Naruto. So, like, you see where I'm getting at, and then we see Nagato be greater than KCM and Seijo, as, like, once he's at full power as an Edo, he's just shitting on that level of power, you know what I mean? So, basically where I'm getting at, a fatigue Pain is basically within the KCM level of power, okay, and so on and so forth, and basically Seijo Naruto is either there or even above, you know what I mean? So that's basically what you're working with. And there's that too. HEBI Sasuke has nothing to remotely be on that level. He's not V2 Raikage level, and he's not fucking full KCM level or Minato level and things like that. He's not built like that, bro. Seijo Naruto, he's there. KCM Naruto obviously is there. Fucking Raikage, things like that. You know, even Six Tails Naruto, you can even say that he's either potentially there as well within the KCM ballpark, or you could technically say maybe Six Tails Naruto is below, and that Tendo Pain was only saying, oh, he's fast due to, you know, he's just acknowledging that, oh, he's fast as well. It doesn't mean necessarily that he's saying that he's faster than Seijo Naruto. So, you know, there's that too, but at the end of the day, you know, bottom line is, bare minimum, okay, you're talking about these level of power, there's consistency the entire time. Full power Pain is beyond KCM and Seijo Naruto. Nerf Pain would literally be within KCM and Seijo Naruto's realm of power. That's all you're working with, you know? So, anyways.
Signing. Again, databook statements are a lot of the times hyperbolic, and if you can find contradictions in the narrative, you can conclude them as hyperbolic, right? For example, Tamari is stated to have winds that blow away the universe. Clearly they don't, right? As we see in the narrative, she's blowing away trees and stuff. Is she blowing away the entire globe and even more so? No. So it's hyperbolic. Now with the Sasuke statement, we see him admit inferiority to Asani. We see him lose to someone that's below, almost lose to someone that's below Sannin in Deidara, and have a very competitive and near stalemate altercation, right? So that statement doesn't matter. Statements are overridden by feats, and feats usually take priority with the right, of course, contextual parameters. So that's essentially my thoughts on this matchup. Again, this is unscripted. I wanted to do it again. The reason I'm doing
W video for Jay. WWW. We'll move on to the next. A very great video. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Overall with the matchup. You know, obviously I know the majority of you are going to be, you know, obviously Seijo and Naruto. But you guys let me know. And you guys let me know about all the HEBI Sasuke fans, the weirdos, the small percentage of the Naruto community that are currently trying to enable that notion. aka Loco the loser, Loco the retard. You know, what do you guys think about that too? But as always, make sure to leave a like for the video, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe for more content, subscribe to the channel. I'm out. Peace.